Hello and welcome to Ifield Wood. Look at this beautiful stream, wow. I mean, it's filthy and it does look relatively calm and peaceful. A couple of ripples over there, but yeah, welcome to Ifield Wood. It says over there on the sign, public footpath, so but anyways, let's just put it this way. I'm going to be reading to you a spooky story in regards to the Welsh Werewolf. Now, you may have not heard this story before, you may have, I don't know. However, today we've come up to Ifield Wood to tell you the story of the Welsh Werewolf. Now, this is a completely different woodland compared to Tilgate Forest. Tilgate Forest is on the other side, it's a couple of miles away, but we are in Ifield Wood. Now, essentially, I bought myself some lunch. Oh, so sorry about that. Wow. Okay. Cool. Right. Hopefully you'll be able to see me. But as you can see, it's very quiet, quite isolated here. But yeah. I mean, the reason why I did that on my arm is because I went through a dry out bush. It was so into the pathway when I was cycling up that I didn't see it in time, and the next thing you know, bush. I've literally virtually swerved into a bush. So let me have my lunch and I will be back with you in a moment, and we can start off our story of the Welsh Werewolf. You know what upsets me is when people leave their crap lying around in the forest. I'm taking that home because that's supposed to be in a bin somewhere, not in the forest. I mean, to be honest, don't know why people do it. Absolute disgrace, dumping their rubbish on the floor. If you're gonna come here, then I suggest you pick up your rubbish and come back. If not, don't come here. There's nothing worse than someone dumping their rubbish on the floor in a beautiful woodland. Iron brew, simply the best. And guess what I found as well? Someone has dumped a doggy bag for the dog poop on a fence here. Oh my, what is wrong with people? So, it's a nightmare, man. They need to stop dumping stuff around here. Not sure if you can see it or not, but it's gone now. There's a bumblebee flying around. No, it's back. But anyways, on with the story, shall we? On with the story. Onwards and upwards. So I'm going to be reading a story from you from the book called The Unexplained, Strange Encounters, and I'm going to be reading about the Welsh werewolf, and if you're lucky I will also tell you about the giant spider of the Ukraine as well. Now, the Welsh werewolf is based in the UK, and I thought, well, there's nothing better than to read a scary story to you in the middle of the woods. So here we go. The Welsh werewolf. As most horror film buffs know, a werewolf is a person who changes into a wolf-like creature when the moon is full. This is a myth, as most country dwellers who know their folklore will tell you. A real werewolf is said to be a large unidentified species of wolf which has no tail and is usually quite long, often over 7 feet in length. The animal carries out most of its hunting at night when the moon is full, but these strange creatures also go on the prowl most nights regardless of whether the moon is full or not. Most people have heard of the beast of Bodmin Moor and the Surrey puma. Strange, unidentified animals which have been tearing hundreds of sheep and cattle apart for years. But there is another violent creature roaming parts of the United Kingdom which has also killed people, and this animal is known as the Welsh werewolf. Records of an enormous wolf-like animal in North Wales date back to 1790, when a stagecoach travelling between Denbigh and Wrexham was allegedly attacked and overturned by an enormous black beast almost as long as the coach horses themselves. The terrifying animal tore into one of the horses and killed it, while the other horse broke free from its harness and galloped off into the night, whining in terror. The attack took place just after dusk, with a full moon on the horizon. The moon that month seemed blood red, probably because of dust in the stratosphere from a recent forest fire in the Hatchmere area. The locals in North Wales and Cheshire thought the moon's rubical colour was a sign that something evil was at large, and the superstitious phrase "bad moon on the rise" was whispered in travellers' inns across the region. In the winter of 1791, a farmer went into his snow-covered field just 7 miles east of Greasford, and he saw enormous tracks that looked like those belonging to an overgrown wolf. With a blacksmith, he followed the tracks for 2 miles, and they led to a scene of mutilation which made the villagers in the area quake with fear that night. The tracks led into a farmstead where every single animal had either been literally torn to shreds or mortally wounded. One snow-covered field was just a lake of blood, dotted with carcasses of sheep, cattle, and even the farmer's dog. The farmer was found locked up in his house in a terrible state. He wasn't harmed physically, but he was terrified. He had barricaded himself in after witnessing an enormous black animal that resembled a wolf ripping the throat out of his sheepdog. The animal had then gone for the farmer, but he had just managed to run in the farmhouse in time. He had bolted the heavy oaken door and hid under a table in the kitchen, armed only with a pitchfork. The farmer said the wolf pounded on the heavy oak door, almost knocking it off its hinges. The weird-looking animal then stood up on its hind legs like a human and looked in through the windows of the farmhouse. Its eyes were blue and seemed intelligent and almost human-like. The beast foamed at the mouth as it peered in, then bolted from the window to commit wholesale carnage on the farm. Each of the sheep were left as pelts of wool with a head attached, lying flat on the snow like a woolen mat. The animal had even eaten sections of the animal's spines, and no one had ever seen a predator do something like that before. The church set up patrols in search of what was suspected to be an evil werewolf, and bands of villagers braved the freezing blizzards with lanterns, muskets and pitchforks in search of the ravenous beast, but only its tracks were ever seen. 7 years later, 2 men walking across the Bickerton Hills in Cheshire saw something that sent them running for their lives. The full moon had just risen, and as it peeped over the hilltop, the travellers saw the silhouette of an enormous, unidentified animal against a lunar disk. The animal lifted its head and let out a blood-curdling howl, which echoed through the Cheshire Hills. The 2 men rushed into an inn and refused to continue their journey until morning. At dawn on the following day, the mutilated bodies of 2 vagrants were found in the wood just 5 miles from the inn. It didn't seem to be murder because their bodies had been literally slashed to ribbons by something which had claws like knives. One of the victims had tried to cross a stream as he fled the scene of the slaying and had been pounced upon in the waters. His head was never found and seemed to have been torn off. The head of the other victim was found stripped of its face and ears in another part of the wood. The jaws of the animal that killed the man must have been powerful because the victim's skull had been cracked and splintered during the gruesome attack. Someone wrote an anonymous letter and posted it to the local minister. The letter writer said the beast that had killed the men had been a werewolf which had been on the loose in that area of Cheshire and Wales for over 100 years. The letter writer said that the attack had happened during an eclipse of the moon, when the moon passes into the Earth's shadow and seems to turn dark red, and he claimed that he had heard the terrible screams of the tramps who were slaughtered by the animal. The writer told the minister to paint crosses on the doors of each dwelling in the village because the werewolf was driven in his bloodlust by the evil spirit of a Welsh warlock who had been burnt at the stake by the ancestors of the villagers in the year 1400. The attacks by the last black wolf gradually died out, and the people of Cheshire and Wales breathed a sigh of relief. But 2 centuries later, attacks by a large unidentified animal were reported once more. In February of the year 1992, a Welsh newspaper called the Western Mail reported sightings of a strange bear-like animal that had been seen across Wales in the north of the country. A farmer who had afterwards found 2 of his full-grown 70-pound lambs ripped apart. One of the lambs was flattened as if it had been run over by a farm tractor. There were around 70 further sightings between 1992 and 1994, and London Zoo gave the farmers in the area advice for trapping the unknown predator. Cages baited with stakes into special trapdoors were installed at the farms in the hope that the beast would venture into one of them. The thing did go into one cage, but when the door sprung shut, the animal pulled 2 steel bars open and escaped. London Zoo said some lunatic must have helped the animal escape, but the farmer said that the animal had pulled the bars apart itself. London Zoo experts said no known animal could have done something like that, even a grizzly bear. One pathetic explanation was that a wolverine was on the loose, but the tracks left by the violent animal seemed to indicate that it was a large variety of wolf. One American expert on animal tracks said the prints left by this animal strongly resembled fossilized tracks left by the long extinct saber-toothed tiger. But the saber-toothed tiger has not roamed Britain since the Pliocene era over 2 million years ago. From the pattern of sightings made after 1995, it seems that the so-called Welsh Werewolf is steadily moving eastwards towards Cheshire and Merseyside. So where I'm based, we're on the southeast of England, so we're in the east. And when it says the pattern of sightings made after 1995, it seems that the so-called Welsh Werewolf is steadily moving eastwards towards Cheshire and Merseyside. So east. But yeah, I'm going to leave the giant spider of the Ukraine to another time. And I think that now would be a good time to actually just have some fun. I've come out to have some lunch, have a picnic, get out of the place, and essentially get some fresh air, man. Anyways, back to my trip at hand. Behind me is a great big wheat field. I would say it's wheat, but I'm not very good with my plants. But there's one thing I can rest assure you of is that there's 3 beautiful vast forests and woods. So you've got Ifield Woods, which I'm in now, which I think is more of a forest, Tilgate Forest and Buchan Park. Cheers, all the best to you. I've been dealing with a lot of, let's just put it this way, antisocial behaviour from a tenant. And please, if you're facing scrutiny or you're facing antisocial behaviour from someone that lives in the same block as you, or is your neighbour, or lives in the next house to you, don't worry about it. Just reach out to the authorities, because you're not alone in this. And that's what I've had to learn, is when to escalate it, when to de-escalate it, when to get the authorities involved, when not to get the authorities involved. And unfortunately, I've had to get the authorities involved. But make sure, if you're going to call the police, make sure you've got a witness. Make sure you've got a witness, or you've got a recording, a voice recording, or a video recording. And unfortunately, if you're living in a block of flats, you're going to find it incredibly difficult to get any sort of CCTV security footage for your flat, because apparently you're not being able to have a ring doorbell because you live in a block of flats so they can film the other residents, which is stupid, especially when your safety is concerned, you know. But it's one of those things. I don't come here, however, very often. The last time I came here was like around this time last year, and around winter last year. So around winter last year, summer this time last year as well. But it's mainly Tilgate Forest I go to, because it's much more vast. You got bigger trails, you got much wider and longer pathways, and you can go on for miles. Apparently the forest is only a mile in length, apparently 400 acres. But this one, I'm not too what's the word, I'm not too experienced with this woodland. This is my second time coming here, actually. This is my second time, and I just hope that I can find my way back out. I've got a good memory, so hopefully it won't be too bad. Hopefully I'll be able to find my way out quite easily. But today's weather is like 32-34 degrees, and apparently tomorrow, Wednesday, is going to be about 36-37 degrees Celsius in the UK, in my area. And it's been all over the news, heat wave, and you know, emergency heat wave, don't go out between the hours of 11 AM and 3 PM because that's when the sun is closest to the whatever it is. But I thought, well, I'm not going to be stuck in here all day. You know, I've got better things to do than sit around in an empty flat and do nothing. I'm trying to work on this YouTube channel. I am. It's like, I know I need to spice it up a bit, but I'm going to do that once I get a car, because when I got a car I can go to somewhere which is quite late evening, get in there, set up, go camping, you know, get a gas stove or whatnot. But one thing after another. So first thing first, I'm doing this channel, and like I said, from time to time I will show you different areas of Crawley, West Sussex, and then once I get my car, I'm going to be starting to expand from that. I'm going to be expanding from Crawley to other places like Colgate, Faygate, Horsham, Clapham Wood over by Clapham. Clapham Wood's supposed to be haunted. Clapham Wood is supposed to be a place where rituals have taken place, UFO sightings, people have gone missing in there. But you hear all this news about Clapham Wood, but you don't hear much about Tilgate Forest, and yet it's Tilgate Forest. That's the issue, because Tilgate Forest is where people have been found dead, hung up in trees. Body parts have been found. So yeah. I'm going out with a couple of friends on Friday night. I don't necessarily think it's my cup of tea, but I'm making an effort. My mate Ryan and I wouldn't say he's my mate, just someone I know from school, is going to the cinema on Friday, and essentially they're going to go and watch a movie called Jackass. It's a final film apparently. What's this? That's just a piece of plastic. Yeah, my bad. Anyways, I've done all video, but as you can see here, I'm struggling with going. You see, I don't use a GoPro, I use a mobile phone. So as you can see, we've got a whole great big field here, like literally, and I don't even know where that goes. And it's so hot, I don't want to be out in this sun for too long. But as you can see, it's just a great big open space I don't know what that is. I think that's a wheat field. I'm not too sure right enough, but it looks like it's a wheat field. Does look like a wheat field, actually, a farmer's field. So you know, I don't want to be hanging around here somehow. It's private land. I mean, the sign I showed you earlier said some of it's private land, stick to public paths. What does that say? Private land access is prohibited. Okay, fine. Then I'll come off. I'll come out of it. But yeah, apparently behind me is private land, so I don't really want to trespass on there. My bad. I didn't even realise until just now. So my bad. But anyways, this is the public. But, however, it's saying over there, on this side of the sign, public footpath. But the thing is, if it's pointing this way, they should at least put a sign here saying this way, not that way, because you're going over there, you're walking onto private land, you're like, whoa, what is all this? So that is definitely a wheat field. There's no doubts about it. So yeah. Anyways, when I leave, I'll do a video and you could watch me try and leave a place I don't really know very well. And anyways, if I got into trouble, I'm on my own. Well, tell a lie, I'm not on my own, I'm with Jesus. Jesus has got my bag. So I'll catch up with you in a moment. If you bring a beer into the woods, just beware that all the midges will swarm to it. Unfortunately, I've just had a midge go on the rim of my can. So, unfortunately, let's just put it this way, the midges love the beer just as much as us humans do. Cheers. It's not as isolated and quiet as I would have hoped. Unfortunately, I've had two people come through here, basically him and one other. So I think Tilgate Forest is the place to go if you want isolation. I don't think this place is very isolated. I mean, I've had two people, like I said, a man and a woman, walk up that bridge. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to be coming back here again for isolation. It's too busy. I need something more isolated. I remember when I was at Bewbush Brook, and I was at Bewbush all those years ago, and hardly anyone came up. But yeah, here's what it is. Anyways, well, we are going to be leaving shortly, so I will see you in a moment. Hello everybody, I am now leaving Ifield Woods. I need to remember which way I came. I didn't go that way, I came this way. But anyways, I just need to remember which way I came, because the thing is, I came off the phone to my wife just now and she said retrace your steps. So I'm trying to retrace my steps. I'm going down a field, but it's got, you know, bushes on either side. But yeah, I enjoy exploring new different places, but I need to get used to going to different places which I don't know much about. And to be honest with you, I absolutely enjoy it. So I don't remember. Where the hell am I? I don't remember this place. I don't remember this place. The problem is that it's a very hot day today, and I've got 2.5 litres of water on me, but still it's a very, very hot day, and I don't remember coming down here. I really don't remember coming down here. But I'm gonna risk it anyway, because I know this way is towards the main road, but we will see what happens. We will see what happens, because the thing is, it's all right going to these places, but it's trying to find your way out. But yeah, if I remember rightly, don't remember seeing that poo there. I see a building up ahead. That's some hope, going back to civilization. But anyways, I will catch you another time. When I find my way out, I will see you again. Hang on a minute. This is even better. I am literally by St. Margaret's Church. I know where I am at. So up here is St. Margaret's Church. Dog. Yes, that's good. I'm out. It's fine. I'm out. Nothing to worry about here. So I have found myself at an impasse. I need to pick up this bike, right, and put it over the fence. Now, this fence doesn't open all the way. It won't come all the way. Yeah, and my bike is not going to fit through it. So my bike, I need to put over the fence, and this is the impasse I'm facing. Right, this is a bike, a 24 gear bike, and I need to get it over the fence. Until next time, I'll see you in the next video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, then please do subscribe. Let me know what you liked about the video, and if you don't like the video, give it a thumbs down, let me know why, and let me know how I can improve. Until the next time we speak, take care, and spoiler alert, the next video I'm doing after this video will be a video about all the castles in the UK. So it's going to be a bit more of a slideshow with the names, how old it is, and what condition it is in, and most of them will have notes attached to it. So if you're into castles, then keep your eyes open for the next video. If you're not, then go and view the video anyway and let me know whether you enjoyed it. And don't forget to subscribe, click that notification bell and set it to all, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you then. Take care. Bye bye.